everyone, we're getting ready to go see Halloween Kills. I'm gonna go with my friend Esteban. It's gonna be really fun, and afterwards we're gonna have a little parking lot review where we just talk about it for a little bit. And I'm so excited. It's gonna be my first movie back in theaters ever since COVID started. I have not stepped into one. The last movie I watched was The Invisible Man, which was like early last year, early 2020. Otherwise, this night means a lot to me, and I cannot wait to watch it, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys about it afterwards. So until then, it's a bit safer now. Theaters are opening up. I'm gonna wear my mask. Everyone has their vaccine, so it should be good. And I can't wait to see you guys afterwards. Bye. Just making sure that because this phone is brand new, 256 gigs, so hopefully all the memory should be fine. We just literally came back. We finished watching Halloween Kills. 9 out of 10.
Damn. Okay.
Because it's not the original.
Yeah. Right after the movie, I sent a snap to my brother and my cousins.
Yeah.
And I told them it's too high, people would say, because no movie's perfect, but I give it a 10 out of 10. I would say 10 out of 10.
Are you serious?
No, I'm not kidding. Kevin knows, I'm not much of a horror fan of films. I'm like whatever, casual.
Yo.
And I told him right after the movie, I'm like, well,
Okay.
this is whatever. I loved it a lot more than I thought I would have.
I would give it a 10 out of 10. There was a couple of things. Maybe it was because of the audience experience.
Yeah.
We had a weird audience experience. There's a couple of moments where maybe the pacing was a little off, just in terms of insert shots. That it might have been a little awkward.
Yeah.
Maybe the reaction shots where people are screaming and it's just very sudden and sort of abrupt. And then the crowd around us there was a bit of giggles going on. Which is fine, but if I had watched that on my own, maybe I wouldn't have reacted oh, that's awkward. I think it's fine. But that's literally the only flaw. I had a great time with this movie from beginning to end.
I would say I said this right when we came in.
Yeah.
Or literally driving up to the theater, I was like, oh man, there's a lot of people. I thought there wasn't gonna be so many people, and then I even said it because this kind of proves that streaming services, or that fear of streaming services, or killing off the theater, kind of disproves it. Yeah. But and then while I was there, right before the movie began, there was little kids playing around and stuff like that. Yeah. I sat there and I'm like, damn, I wish I saw this in the streaming service right now. It just I don't want to go off saying oh, my time is precious, but you kind of know I'm in school. This is not my school, by the way. This is not my school. And you've seen my calendar for 1 week, and it's I plan the hours and stuff like that.
We might be stopped by security.
Yeah. So
they might ask us.
Okay, so we'll pause this right now.
Yeah.
And then we'll shoot it later, as you can tell by our lights.
Yeah. All right. So we'll see you guys in just a bit.
Yeah.
All right. So we were briefly interrupted. We're gonna. I think the security was asking us to leave, so we're just gonna buy some food and then we're gonna continue the review. Yeah. So we're heading over there.
Yeah. So. And the reason, just in case you guys are wondering why they're kicking us out, is because it's past midnight. We went to the third last showing, so yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 1:30 right now, and everything's
yeah, it's actually 1:56. So
oh sure. Yeah, it's almost 2. So we'll talk to you guys right now. Yeah, so we have some nice natural lighting.
What I was talking about was just the
theater experience crowd. Yeah.
At first, at the beginning of the movie, it was kind of bothersome.
Yeah.
But then I kind of just had tunnel vision. I was like, screw it, screw these kids.
It's the only thing to do. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I did have some thoughts sometimes. So I'm just going I want to go to speak to a worker right now.
Dude, I did feel I wanted to get up and talk to the parents. Honestly, for me, horror movies, I don't feel you should bring kids, especially to theaters.
Also, these kids were 5 years old.
Yeah.
I would say.
So
we're not saying kids 10-year-olds or anything like
Exactly.
cracking
That's
jokes.
exactly what I was thinking the whole time. It was like 8 or 9, 10, like 9 or 10 minimum.
Mm-hmm.
If like I feel like they're capable of handling it, or like maybe they might be traumatized,
Yeah.
but they would like if someone said like you got to stay sort of quiet, they'll understand. But these kids were like 5.
I don't know what they were playing with, but it sounded like a toy
Yeah,
car.
they're-
I was like, just like, I was like,
They're
what
like-
the heck?
The parents were prepared. They freaking had like a truck, and then you heard it roll on the ground. Like the dude.
Yeah, I was just like at the beginning of the film, or prior to that when we were walking up.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, like okay, whatever. Like I understand, like these kids like seemed like super hyperactive, so I don't mind them doing it because the movie hasn't started, but they better like be cool, calm, and collect.
Yeah.
And no, they weren't. They carried that energy over.
And I mean, there was a couple of people who talked around us. It wasn't so bad. This is what's hard, because I feel like Thursday night premieres, it's because people want to be there. Those are like the true fans.
Mhm.
And then Friday nights or the opening weekend is more so like open for everyone. I
Yeah.
mean, but like, or like it attracts people who just want to
It's
go
more
see a movie.
it's more appealing because it's the weekend. You have nothing to do the next day.
Yeah, as of right now, we will segue into spoiler territory. We're going to talk about the movie all the way through.
Oh, okay.
So beware, everyone watching this video. We're entering spoilers.
Also, wait, before we enter spoilers,
Yeah.
I would still recommend it. I'm not a huge horror fan.
Yeah.
Kevin knows this, so
Yeah.
coming from a guy that's not a huge horror fan, saying that 10 out of 10, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll talk. We'll save more stuff at the end for non-spoilers, but during this big chunk, it's gonna be spoilers.
I'm pretty sure Kevin would put like a
Yeah, I'll
time.
put a little time thing.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna talk about this film. What stood out to you?
For me, I kind of didn't like it at first, but it kind of grew onto me, and that was kind of like that appeal where like, cause you know Halloween, everyone when you think of Halloween, me personally, I don't know how many movies there are. There's probably
Yeah.
like 8 or whatever.
This would be number 12.
Okay, so
Yeah.
12. But when you think of Halloween, you don't. I would say like for the normal person, there's it's just the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I kind.
Yeah.
So I kind of like how at first it's kind of like a little trend nowadays where they pay homage to the movie and then they kind of put the new characters into that kind of scene.
Yeah, definitely.
So you see, so they did that in this full movie, and it was kind of bothersome for me at first because it's just like
Almost fan servicey.
no, it's just like it looked kind of weird,
Okay.
But and then after it kind of went in, I actually appreciated it because it kind of went in with the editing.
Yeah.
Because it was super. I feel like they didn't try to do any crazy stuff with like cinematography,
Gotcha.
editing. So and then after like realizing it, I guess this is more in terms of more for like film perspective.
Yeah.
So I kind of appreciated it a bit more after that.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll say bringing back these legacy characters was freaking awesome. I loved it. I was pleasantly surprised with the direction of the movie. I wasn't expecting where it was going. Like I knew, according to the trailer, it was going to be like the whole mob. It's a whole town going against Michael, and even the title before the name was revealed, where they would release scripts for the actors, and they didn't know what movie they were going to. It was called Mob Rules.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know it was a Halloween Kills movie or like Halloween movie. And so that plays into the story. I really enjoyed in the beginning when you see everyone at the bar and everyone's just hanging out. I realized, wait a second, this is sort of our crew for the movie, and usually it's a teen.
Okay, yeah.
And it's like, these are the teens that are going to get killed off. They're hanging out in the high school. They're going to get killed off throughout the movie. This is now like it's all adults. It almost felt like an It Chapter 2 situation where all the in the original they went through this traumatic experience and now they're all back.
Oh, also, I guess like a question for that.
Yeah.
I guess this is like also like a little heads up thing for me. I was like, damn, like while watching the movie, I was like, damn, I should have watched the one
yeah.
period before because like that
Yeah.
because like literally in the beginning of the film I remember it, but I wasn't too sure where like the character who's got stuck in the fence, right? Impaled, and I literally went up to him, but I leaned over. I was like, yo, like that's the one before, right?
Yeah.
So like I seen it, I remember it, but I wasn't too sure. So like I would say like if I watched it before, I would have liked it a lot more because I guess since we are still kind of talking spoilers,
Yeah.
since you did mention that. I actually did like that it was all happened in one night, and I wouldn't mean like the movie itself is one night. I mean, I would say like this movie and then the one before. It's literally all the same 24 hours, I guess you can say.
And to bring that point, Halloween Ends was also like when Halloween did really good in 2018. They decided to make it a trilogy with Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, and they wanted the entire trilogy to just be one night. But because of COVID, they had some delays and they had more time to think about the process of the script, and they decided there's going to be a jump of time to the next movie. So I'm not sure. Nobody knows what's going to be for Halloween Ends other than the writers, but there's going to be a bit of a jump. Yeah, this movie does take place immediately after the last one. What a fantastic opening scene. The sheriff who was in 2018, who a lot of people, including myself, thought he got killed. It was him as a young cadet or like a young rookie officer, and we get to see, it's basically a flashback to 1978, and we see Sam Loomis. I'm not sure how they did that, if it was CG, CG,
but I think I was like that. No, yeah, I think the way what they did it, I think they did it like CG for sure. Like some other actor like just do the whole lines kind of thing. Yeah. Because I do know in Star Wars, I think it was Rogue One. I forgot the character's name, but one of the Imperial soldiers, you know, he's from the original Star Wars. They're going through it, and then it's all CGI. There's like some behind the scenes footage, and then it looks so realistic that one of like the assistants actually thought it was a real character.
Oh, cool.
And then, so I think that's what they did. And then for like Toy Story 3, in terms of lines, you know, one of the guy who plays Mr. Potato Head, he passed away, but they didn't want a new voice actor for him, so they just kind of stitched together like old lines. I think that's what. So while I was watching them, I'm like, oh, that's what they probably did. So like incorporated that aspect that I was mentioning for Star Wars, and then like that aspect from the Toy Story, and then you know with technology nowadays. Yeah.
See, I wasn't sure because I was like, maybe this is just completely different actor they got to play for him, but even when you see the shot sort of zooming in on
and it looked really sort of, like him.
Yeah, it looked really like him. There was something almost like off about it though. Not like that it was bad, it was just like
and that's what I was saying, like it kind of bothered me because it like because that's what we're trying to mention right now. So I was saying that kind of bothered me, but then I was like, oh, simplicity. This is what it would have looked like more or less when it was shot. So that's what after getting over that, I'm like, okay, I like it a bit more.
Definitely. And I really appreciated the set pieces. Whenever there was flashbacks, or even when they were just in modern day and they were walking around, they legit just got all the original locations, or they remade the sets. We might order right now.
Hi, can I have a...
Curly?
Curly. But where's it?
We are treating ourselves tonight to some good stuff.
We're probably gonna speed this part up or something. I don't know.
We're gonna cut a little bit. The locations, it's so cool because Halloween, they got some locations from Halloween too, even though it's not canon in this storyline. They regathered a lot of those scenes. The scene where you see.
I wouldn't know, so but the viewers may know. But
in the opening when you see Sheriff, it's not Brackett, the main officer of the last one. He's a young cadet and he's sort of going through the streets. And
when he just kind of disappeared, I guess you could say.
Yeah, exactly. That scene is the opening to Halloween 2. And Halloween 2 also takes place immediately after the original. So they did that on purpose for Halloween Kills. This takes place after 2018. And a good chunk of this movie takes place in a hospital, which is also the main setting of Halloween 2. All right, so moving forward, we have... this is my argument for this movie.
Okay.
This movie is a natural disaster movie.
Like, how do you mean?
As in movies like The Day After Tomorrow, 2012, or even Shipwrecked movies. And what I mean is, it's like, usually these types of movies have an ensemble cast, each taking from their own point of view, with like after the natural disaster happens, from like a tornado, tsunami, whatever, etc. And Michael is our natural disaster. And it's so cool that we get to see from different angles, and it almost felt like this Avengers build-up. We have different characters from the original movie and the past movie, And I didn't expect Sheriff Brackett to be back. He was the original sheriff from the original movie. And we have cameos here and there, and it's so cool. They reference Halloween 3 again with the mask, the skeleton, pumpkin, and the goblin or the witch that the kids were wearing.
Yeah.
This is probably my favorite iteration of Michael. He is the most aggressive I've ever seen. I think, I don't want to say it's different from Rob Zombie's. Rob Zombie's is still intense and aggressive, but just to talk a mini review of Rob Zombie's Halloween, I did think it was intense for the sake of being intense and not because there was a purpose. It was sort of shock value. Even though I do enjoy
just trying
those
to
movies.
like do fan service, just give them what they want.
Yeah, just like, you know. And Rob Zombie has a specific taste or he's his own genre in horror, and I think this one earned the violence. Dude, Michael freaking killed everyone.
Yeah.
I thought we had like different crews, different squads going around the city, and we're gonna hunt down Michael. I knew immediately the nurse from the original movie was gonna be our first legacy character to go, and she was. When they were in a car like this one, and it was a couple, the doctor and the nurse, and then the actual real nurse, and then Lindsay. And Lindsay was the only one who survived that, I think. I expected the couple to survive a bit longer, but they legit just got killed off, like
right off
the bat. I'm like,
like
okay.
you kind of know them in the movie time wise. I would say like 30 minutes more or less, but on screen it's like pretty like they're just there for a few scenes here and there.
Yeah,
just interacting. It's just like supporting characters. And we'll be right back. Little mukbang.
How is it?
It's alright.
It's alright.
One Burger King is better.
Damn.
But
this movie, Halloween Kills, feels like a natural disaster movie. Because it's an ensemble cast. We get to see different perspectives. It's really freaking cool. I think we got to see the flaws of mob mentality, and I think that's sort of the theme of every Halloween movie so far, where 2018 might have been a bit with some feminism, where because Jamie Lee Curtis has even talked about how before the current trend was like the Me Too movement, and in this movie it was the 3 generations of women, the Strode family that got to survive and go against Michael. And then this movie is more about the mob mentality, and especially even during COVID, everything that's been going on the past couple of years. And so I think it's always a direct reflection of our own issues that are happening in real life. And innocent, well, I don't know if he's innocent, but in 2018, when the bus crashed carrying all the mental asylum patients, that's when Michael escaped. A couple others escaped as well, and so in this movie we got to confront one of them, and the mob believed that he was Michael. I've been trying to open this ranch for the past 5 minutes.
You didn't even know who that was?
No, he was just a random patient.
Okay, yeah, because like I thought that, because I know they did bring it up briefly through like the news anchor thing.
Yeah.
But like while I was seeing it there, because I was like, damn, like probably Kevin knows who that is. That's probably like a reference to another one of the other movies. So I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna ask. I'm gonna just keep my mouth shut and watch the movie.
Yeah. An innocent mental patient died because the mob sort of just crowded him, and the only escape he saw was through the top of a window, the top of a hospital. He just jumped, boom, dead.
While I was watching it, I guess like every American or who went to high school, you know, here in the U.S. kind of could refer to it. And then while I was watching it, I was like, damn, Salem witch trials essentially.
It's exactly it's history repeating itself.
Yeah, I was like, they just saw like that person, like, oh yeah, that's the dude. And like, oh really? Let's go. And then I don't. What was her name? The daughter? Or the daughter of
Karen?
I'm not gonna spoil that part yet.
Like the mom?
Yeah,
not Lori.
Yeah, her daughter.
Yeah, Karen.
Yeah, Karen. So her.
Played by Judy Greer. Yeah.
Her. She was saying it throughout the whole time, like, that's not Michael. And then they're like, oh, I don't care. That's Michael. And then I was like, yo, like, she's the one who's seen him, interacted with Michael this whole time, and they still didn't believe her. They were just trying to, like, I just feel like they wanted to feel safe. So it was like the scapegoat. So essentially like the Salem witch trials kind of thing.
It was very interesting. They're talking about the systems of society and how they fail us, and there's a lot of themes in there. We'll see if we can get into a couple, but I'm sorry, I got tired of this ranch like almost immediately. It goes back to the phrase where individuals are smart, but crowds are stupid. That's sort of, I don't know where I heard that from, but basically, yeah, herd mentality. Whenever a panic happens, it spreads everywhere. Everyone panics. I've never been a part of that yet. I don't know. I don't know how I'll react if I'm ever in that situation, but I expect like maybe I'd panic too. I hope I don't like in that way, but about talking about all the systems that failed us. I don't know what kind of stabs that they're doing for that, especially because it takes place in a hospital with everything that happens there. You see the authority figure as I don't remember the current sheriff who was wearing like the black sheriff hat. He didn't break down, but he was defeated.
Yeah, he said like he was trying to lay down the law. He even says it like I am the law. Like he literally says it. And then he's trying to set the boundaries, trying to keep everyone calm. But then he realizes there's nothing he can do.
Yeah, it was inevitable.
Yeah, and then there's even the scene where, like, I guess, like, everyone, like, kind of knows, like, that kind of, like, image of defeat where you're literally sitting down and just, like, like, he's literally in that position as it's going down. And you're just like, damn, like, I guess, like, the law, it's just saying, like, the law in that situation, like, everyone's revolting. It's kind of anarchy, you know, in that situation. So the law doesn't apply. He just kind of like understood that he could do whatever he wants, or he could try he could try all these tactics or whatever. Yeah. But it's not gonna work at the end of the day.
It allows us to reflect on how delicate and fragile the real law is in real life, where it's like this movie brought back sort of humanity at its most primitive state. Like we reverted back to the Stone Age. And how the law, it's general guidelines that we agree to follow, but they're not set in stone. They're very abstract. It's not physical. Like, I can just, like, well, I'm not gonna, okay, that was a bad metaphor. But, you know, I can commit a crime and just get away with it, and nothing could ever happen to me. And that happens all the time, you know. There's nothing stopping me from doing that, but we just...
Yeah. It's like, there's nothing preventing me from stealing something right now. It's just like... that feeling my morals, there you go. It's just like morals saying like, oh, it's the right thing to do, but at the end of the day, like, I could still do it in a sense, kind of thing.
We all are capable of doing it. We agree
as a society,
and that's how we create a society, by making sure we it's like an unspoken rule, but it's like it's a good rule to have. Like, it's just ethics and morals. Going back, they called Michael an apex predator. And I keep thinking about Chronicle every time.
When he said it, I was like, oh, like, I literally learned that word because of Chronicle.
And that furthers the theory that this story was about humanity going back to its primitive state, and about hunting one another, and how we're prey, Michael's the predator, or vice versa. We're trying to flip the script, and now we're hunting him down. And then there's the argument, is Michael human or not? And maybe he started off as human. I think at the end, he's not human anymore. There's always been a debate. In the original, that's why he's so scary, because we don't know his intentions. We don't know what he is. Do we let the doctor get to us and like, oh my god, he is something more? Or is he just human? He can be stopped. Every time he kills, he gets stronger. That's what was repeated throughout the movie. When he kills, he transcends. And then at the end, he totally did.
Yeah. He went like Super Saiyan, essentially.
Yeah. To talk a little bit about the ending, I expected it. And I actually love it.
Yeah.
This was the first time in years I felt that amount of dread, because I actually cared about all these characters, and I was very surprised in a good way that they actually killed so many people off.
Yeah.
I expected the boyfriend to survive.
Okay.
Or like the boyfriend, the love interest who was sort of the jerk at the other movie. I thought he'd make it too. Like maybe Allison and then the boyfriend can like have they can survive to the next movie. Now both of their fathers are dead, so they can have shared trauma and they can continue. This kid got killed off. Straight up.
I would say I was pretty satisfied. I liked the ending, and you could tell too, because when I was watching it, I was more or less like sitting down normally, and I'm just like, I don't know if he saw it right away, but I did.
Yeah.
I was like, finally, like I like the ending a lot, but we'll talk about it specifically, the ending. I guess to talk about cool shots that I loved in the movie. There's like a cool, but the one that I'm one of my personal favorite ones.
Yeah.
Isn't really spoiler territory because it was in the trailer.
Yeah.
More or less, and it's the one with the firefighters. I loved it a
Oh.
lot. Like I've heard, well, you already got glimpses of it through the trailer, but I think what led to it was even better because I guess this is a bit more spoiler territory because it's right before he encounters the firefighters.
Yeah.
But it's essentially how the firefighter falls,
Yeah.
and then there's no remorse. I think it would have been kind of cool, like, you know, like if there was like if he picks him up, falls hope, whatever, and then kills him. But Michael like literally just picks up a fucking spear kind of thing and then just like kills him off right away.
Yeah.
I think he killed one more inside of the house right before, right?
Yeah.
But I like the interaction. Like all the he's coming out of the house and all the firefighters, they're all like, oh damn.
Yeah.
Like they're pretty much at that age more or less. Like they're not old enough to have lived during that time, but they're old enough to have been told by their parents.
Yeah.
So like they probably seen him like images or something, and then they're all like, oh shit, that's Michael Myers. That's the boogeyman.
Mm-hmm.
So like they're already like getting ready to fight him. Like literally everyone's getting ready to fight. And they all get killed off.
I think that's really cool. In this movie, everyone's sort of on battle mode immediately. Everyone's ready to fight immediately, which is really cool because a lot of times, a lot of people are like, hello? Who are you? Are you okay? But these guys just like, boom, battle mode. Woo, turn on the chainsaw, get their axes. And it was
The
like,
one with the water hose.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, that freaking... If you guys have never seen the force of a water hose, it's huge.
Yeah.
Like, it can move a car, dude.
Yeah, it takes like... I was kind of not looking at it. I guess you could say it's kind of incorrect, but typically there's always like two people holding it. In this movie, there was only one. But like, yeah, like water hoses, like we've seen them, you know, like in school demonstrations and stuff. Like they're pretty strong. And then the fact that Michael Myers is just like
biggest freaking Terminator.
yeah, just like walking like if it was like a regular water hose hitting him. I was like, down, like this guy is
freaking.
yeah.
What's this guy doing? We get to see Michael's like true strength, and I think this was the first time I was legitimately. I felt scared and I felt threatened. Like this guy felt like a threat this time. Like, and all that believability of like this guy is unstoppable. I felt it all in this movie because no matter what they did, he always came back.
Yeah. What I liked about this movie is that it's like fan service, not fan service, but service to the audience for like traditional and new horror fans.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, like it kind of goes into that Steven Spielberg's method of Jaws is more famous about it.
Yeah.
Like showing the villain very, very little.
Yeah.
But I feel like this movie just did the right amount, whereas like because you know how you said earlier, we talked about when we were going to it. First one only killed 5 people, and you confirmed that it was 5 people.
It was 5, yeah.
I think if we walked away as a modern audience nowadays with 5 killings, I think people would have been like, man, what the hell, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But so I think they showed Michael and the killings the right amount, I guess you could say, because they didn't do too much. He didn't kill like the whole town or anything.
Yeah.
Like, but you know, like I think they did it right.
Yeah. Let's talk about a little bit of the killings. They were brutal.
Yeah.
Some of them, I don't want to say, none of them were prolonged. Like, but when they screamed, I felt it. Like they were screaming for their life, and I felt so bad for them. I cared about everyone who got killed off.
Even the random people that they were just there to be killed.
Yeah, they were just there. They were there to be killed. But this is like, not to bring back horror movies. Okay, well, this is sort of like my version of Jason Lives, which is Friday the 13th Part 6, where it's such a big body count, and they included scenes that have nothing to do with the main characters, the main story. It's just there to have people get killed off.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, all right, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
That's all good. This movie has a big body count.
But I feel like the body count. Well, I don't, because you just said like the Friday the 13th one, but I've never seen it. But I feel like this one, like the kills were kind of justified for it.
Yeah, they were.
And then I think like one of the cooler killings that wasn't the firefighter scene was literally just for there to be killed. It's like the 2 older people.
Yeah, and
where he gets the light fuse or the giant light bulb. I forgot what it's called. He literally just grabs it nonchalantly and just breaks it.
Yeah.
And I was like, as soon as he breaks it, I was like, damn,
it's over.
It's over. And I think like another thing that's kind of cool that this movie did, the other horror movies, like especially nowadays, didn't refrain from is like showing on-screen killings.
Yeah.
Because typically it's just like let's say I'm about to get killed, cameras on Kevin. Oh, I'm dead. And then you see my dead body there. That did happen a few times. But like it happened in this scene that I'm mentioning. The guy got killed.
Yeah.
But then right away you see Michael like literally stabbing the body like 7 times or something like that. So I really like that. Like sure they killed him on screen, but at least I still got to see the gore.
Yeah. I think the way we got to see Michael portray, or the actor's portrayal of him, or the direction of Michael, he's back to his prankster self. A lot of people sort of take him as sort of just an empty vessel, but he does have his own sick sense of humor, even going back to the first one. They explain Michael is he is like a 6-year-old kid trapped in a man's body.
They say that like towards the end of the film too.
And when you see him through his kills, he has this curiosity. He tilts his head, iconic head tilt. In the original movie, he stabbed a guy into a wall. It was Bob. And he just took a step back and admired it. Like, look at my macaroni painting I made. Yeah, it's so cool. Look, Mom. And then this one, he did the same thing. He made like a kebab out of a guy. He just stuck 7 knives into his back. And he was like...
And then like how he's also like looking... Sure, like killing, but like he kills people and then he could just go the easy way out and just like stab him, but like he is also like looking for new ways to entertain himself, to make it fun, like because he's making a game out of it, kind of sense.
He is, for sure. Even in the 2018 one, a couple people had problem where he would, in the restroom scene, he dropped teeth to intimidate the woman, the podcaster.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, that's out of character for Michael. But he's a jokester. He's a prankster at heart. And he proved it further in this movie. I don't want to say comedic moments, but there were kills where it's like, you can tell he expressed it through his kills. That's his way of communicating. We always want him to speak, to talk, and this is his way of expressing himself.
Yeah. Well, I guess this kind of goes back into like what we were saying earlier about like feeling for the characters. Obviously, like how you said, I mentioned the 2 characters with the light bulb and all that. They're just there to get killed, but it still kind of served its purpose. But I feel like Little John and Big John.
Yeah.
Those were me personally, those are the only characters that I felt something for when they died.
Yeah.
I knew they were gonna get killed because, they kind of saying like, oh, this is Michael Myers' house. Oh, spoiler, I guess, yeah. Well, then again, we said that.
Yeah,
spoiler.
we're good, yeah.
So, there's these 2 characters. They actually live in the house of Michael Myers. Their names is Lil John and Big John. And I really liked how they were just portrayed like 2 average people.
Yeah.
Because they're like in a relationship, so you know how he's like, one of them is... Oh, I guess this kind of goes into like that comedic tone for that movie. That's like, I think that's one of the funniest parts of the movie is where he's like, Big John, I don't think we're in our house alone. So Big John gets a little knife.
Yeah.
And then Little John gets the bigger knife. It's kind of confusing when we're saying it, but like if you've seen the movie, you know exactly that line. But those are the only 2 characters that I actually felt like an emotional connection as the other ones, I was just like, oh, whatever. You
wanted to root for them. A lot of the characters. And this was a brutal. It really felt no one was safe.
Yeah.
Like this. I'm not talking about like The Walking Dead, where there's clear people who have plot armor. I feel like anyone could have gotten killed.
Yeah.
And a lot of people did. I'm gonna talk about Judy Greer let's talk about the ending real quick.
Okay, yeah.
With Karen, she gets killed off at the end.
That was actually that's the only, for me personally. Obviously, besides the killings, we think Michael is dead, and then some, like the audience, they're like, oh, he's dead. I'm like, no, he's not. It's Michael Myers. Know. I already know.
There's a sequel.
Know. Yeah, I really I'm like, Kevin already knew for sure, apparently, but I didn't know. I'm like, I know for a fact there's gonna be a sequel like 3 years from now.
Yeah.
Because it's Michael Myers. How could you kill off like an iconic character like that? You know what I mean? And then he came back to life, killing everyone. So I was like, yeah, like cool stuff. I kind of had like this, I guess like the term is sour taste in my mouth because of like, damn, like how you mentioned this earlier, like the love interest died. So I was kind of happy for that, but like I wanted the girl to die too, me personally, or at least someone in the family, one of the girls.
Yeah.
And then so when she was looking out the mirror or window, and Michael Myers is there, I'm like, dude, I hope she gets killed. That's what's gonna make this movie for me from a 9 to a 10. And she screams and guys yelled. I'm like, oh, perfect.
Yeah, I heard you
like,
clap. Yeah,
yeah,
I
'cause
heard you clap.
yeah, that's when I clapped. I was like, yes, like finally, because like horror movies nowadays is like, yeah, you get the horror, then you get the happy ending,
Yeah.
and I don't think. I mean, it's not a bad thing, you know, every director, writer vision, but I think like occasionally there should be a movie that doesn't have a happy ending.
Yeah, I agree.
Because in life, as we all know, not everyone has a happy ending.
I was gonna say some of you guys know me personally. I love happy endings. I usually write happy endings for my own stories. And saying that, I loved the ending to this movie, which has a dark, sad ending for everyone
Except
involved.
for me. Yeah, that's what made it better for me. But yeah, no,
I think it earned it.
Yeah,
It for sure earned it. I knew going in one of the Strode family was gonna get killed, and I thought, okay, Lori, they're gonna save her for the last one.
Yeah.
100%. She's either gonna die in the last movie, or she's just gonna make it overall. She's like the final girl, the first final girl ever from the original Halloween, and she paved the way for it. And then I thought about Allison. Is she gonna
That's
get
the
killed?
youngest one, right?
The youngest one.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, they're probably setting her up for to be the new final girl, maybe for the third one, to passing of the
Yeah.
torch. So who's the next person who can get killed off? It's gonna have to be Karen.
Yeah.
And I think everyone expected, like, what is gonna be the setup for the next movie?
Yeah.
Lori's gonna want revenge now, 100% for the
Yeah.
death of her daughter. That's a great setup for this next movie. And maybe Karen, because out of all the three, Karen may have had the most screen time in this movie,
Yeah.
so I think she had her time to shine, and we really got to know her a bit more than the last one. And I did root for her a lot, and I'm sad that she died, but I think she this was like the perfect time
Yeah.
for her to go.
What was the daughter's name? The youngest one?
Karen? Oh,
Karen.
no. Allison.
Allison. Me personally, I still kind of wish that she's the one who died, to be honest. And the reason being is because, like, sure, it sounds kind of messed up, but like,
No, you're good.
like, the reason being why I wish she was the one to die is because, like, it kind of would have sent that, because throughout the time that they're in the hospital, so practically the whole film,
Yeah.
essentially the whole film, you know, she's like, oh, we gotta go out to get Michael because he killed my dad. He killed my dad, this and that. And then the mom, Karen, you said that's her name?
Yeah.
So she was like, no, we gotta stay here because she's coming here. Like, she wanted to play it safe.
Yeah.
But Allison, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Allison, the youngest one, she's like, no, screw that. So because of that, I wanted her to die because I kind of wanted the audience to know, like, there are consequences to your actions if you don't think things clearly. So that's the main reason why I wanted her to die, because like she already saw the love interest and his dad die.
Yeah.
So, and then she's like, oh damn, like I should have listened to my mom, play it safe, stay here, and then stay alive. And then like I think I literally thought this while you were talking, Karen, the mom, the middle one. It would have been nice for her to be the one who carried the torch, because essentially, like, the second one, the one before this, was her carrying the torch, right?
Yeah.
But throughout this movie, she's saying like, no, like she wants to play it safe. So I think this would have been this extra step for if her daughter had died, to actually give her that momentum to like step out of her comfort zone, kind of thing.
For sure. This brings me to my theory about what's gonna happen. I believe wholeheartedly Michael will die in the next one.
And then there'll be another timeline.
For sure. There's going to be another
Yeah.
reboot for sure. In the contract, it says you're not allowed to kill Michael. So he's probably going to keep living. I don't know. But this is my theory. I think they will stop Michael. Maybe they might not kill him, but they'll imprison him. I don't know. And talking about that ending, when the mob surrounded him and they had him down, it looked like they won. They should have just, I was thinking the whole time, decapitate that guy.
Oh yeah.
Like, just do it. Like, I feel like that would have secured it. And then, I mean, it'd be funny to have a headless Michael just running around. I was like, just you have him on the ground. You have it. Like, you can win, but it's not done yet. He's not dead. It doesn't matter how many times you shoot him. Just decapitate him. I don't know if that could ever do anything, but they just didn't finish the job.
Yeah. Because they were a bit like, I think it's because they were too much in their heads, like, oh, we took down the bad guy, like the killer or whatever. Like, we just made history, essentially.
Yeah, they were sort of, there was an aura. They were like, yeah, we did it, woo. But freaking Michael got up and killed everyone, including Anthony Michael Hall, who played Tommy. I was very sad for that one. He was the last kill of the movie, which is an honor. Well, actually, no, Judy Greer. Karen was the last kill of the movie. But Tommy, I was so sad. I'm like, dude, he's a fighter. I wanted him to make it to one more. But I knew, yeah, he was another potential character that was going to get killed for sure. But here goes my theory. In Halloween 4, the main character is Laurie Strode's daughter in the other timeline.
Okay.
And she's, I believe, maybe 10. Let's say 10. She's played by Daniel Harris. At the end of the movie, they actually take down Michael. And I believe they shoot him down and kill him. It's over. And then the plot twist at the end, if you remember the original movie, Michael was in a clown mask and he killed his sister. At the end of the movie, Daniel Harris, who played Jamie, kills her foster mom. And she's wearing the same clown mask that Michael wore. And they set her up as the next new killer. And we're like, oh my God, the evil will always live. Now it's passed on to her. Boom. I believe Allison is going to be that next person.
Oh, yeah?
She is going to be our next killer. I know a lot of people are like, shut up. No, there's no way. I 100% believe they're going to go that route. Or at the end of 2018, Allison stabs Michael. Michael goes back into the basement. Fire comes up. When they're driving away in the back of the truck, she has the knife and the camera zooms in. And that's the last shot of the movie. And I think that either implies that she's a fighter and she's ready to battle him, which was for this movie, or she has a taste of what it's like to stab someone, and she might now start getting obsessed.
Just like Michael did.
Just like Michael did. And you get to see a little bit of that in this movie. She goes ahead, she's up against Michael, and she's just like, do it. I don't know, she might have just been talking to her mom. She's like, do it already, just
I
stab
think
him.
at first she was talking to Michael, and then like she's like, oh, mom's there.
I do feel there's little clues, subtle hints that I'm probably wrong, but I just want that to happen. I'm always gonna
Manifesting it.
Yeah, I'm a law of attraction.
But yeah.
Score was awesome. Well, it was made by John Carpenter again with his sons and stepson.
Going off of that, I think I enjoyed the film because they incorporated. Well, I think because I'm not a huge fan like how you are. I mean, but I think like most of the soundtrack was still from the original, right? Most, if not all.
If not, they were remastered.
Yeah. I liked how they just like they just kept the piano like dun, and all that. Like they all kept it instead of like making like new versions or whatever.
Yeah.
They just kept it simple homage in a sense, but it worked.
I must say I really liked this movie a lot more than 2018. 2018 they might have, and they said all they wanted to do was make a scary movie and that's it. That's all they wanted to. But in this movie I think they took it more seriously, and it shows. It doesn't feel like a dumb movie to me. It feels like they had something to say.
I think it had like a lot of elements from different genres, and I think that's why it works.
Yeah, for sure.
Like we said, like there's, I don't think it's like a comedy, but there's like little hints of line.
Humor.
Like it wasn't. I liked the humor because it wasn't forced.
Right.
Like it was just there, and then obviously you got like bigger picture, like theories, like how we kind of like rambled on about like anarchy, government, all that, justice, and then obviously at the end of the day, it's a slasher film, slasher horror thriller, and that's what was the main focus. But there are like subtle things.
There's a lot of different things spread across that they wanted to incorporate and set up. There's so much to love about this film. We talked about the kills, the story, the characters. I rooted for every single one of them. The music. I think one thing I wanted to bring up, the visually, cinematographically. I mean, the cinematography is beautiful.
Yeah.
So many shots where I felt like I'm effed up in the head because I'm like, I see like 2 dead bodies. I'm like, that's so beautiful.
No, yeah. Speaking of that, like cinematography, like this goes back into the firefighter scene. But when Michael steps out with the flames around him, I was like, damn, that's my wallpaper right there.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna save this.
Yeah. No, like I liked it a lot, and then the lighting. You know, dark movies, whatever, but lighting is top tier. Like I liked how it's all dark night, just like how it is right now, but like with like lights like this, and then you just see like in the original, because you know it's just like stretched out from what I know, like a mask stretched out, painted white essentially.
Yeah.
But in this movie, you could kind of see like the scars from the previous film, so you could see like the burns, the scratches, and all that, and I was just like, damn. The detail to that mask.
Yeah, so good. Yeah. Burnt face. Michael.
And I'm not like when I'm watching a movie for the first time, I'm not the one like picking stuff out like that. Yeah. But like I really liked how it kind of showed you his battle scars. Like, this hasn't
yeah.
taken me down. What makes you think that you'll take me down, kind of thing?
Definitely, it's terrifying. Yeah, I think there's so many good shots. There's a couple that stood out to me. It was in the playground where it's the two dead bodies on the wheel, this merry-go-round maybe.
Also to cut you off a little bit, but like how you were saying, like fucked up in the head kind of thing. When I saw the little kid there, I was like, oh, thank you. Like I didn't. His mask was off. Like when Jason was like, Michael kind of killed him. It was an off-screen kill, but like at least they showed his body there, you know.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, like at least they gave me that. And now that I know, like, it's not just grown-ups that he's going for, it's actually like kids.
Yeah, kids are in danger, especially with 2018. There was a kid who got killed off in the freeway. He was just like, I think, strangled. And so when we saw the kids in this movie, I think a lot of people were like, oh my god, these kids are no longer safe. They don't have plot armor.
I think, and that also kind of goes into horror films. Like, people just assume like kids are a no-go, or like just in life, you know, like, oh, you can't do that to a kid. But it kind of shows you like Michael doesn't care who you are, what you are. He'll kill you just because he wants that, you know. Yeah,
definitely. One of my other favorite shots towards maybe the first act, when it was I think it was a nurse. I don't know if it was the elderly couple.
Oh yeah.
The lady was next to like a window. And
where everyone was laughing, right? That scene. It was kind of comedic,
yeah. Yeah, like, it was a bit comedic in the beginning, yeah. And Michael slashed the fluorescent light, and he stabbed her in the neck.
Yeah.
And then you just see the shot was looking at the window, and you see the reflection of Michael's face while you just see her drowning in her own blood. And I'm just staring, and I'm like, this is like the best shot I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff like that. They get very creative with the shots in this movie, and I think this is it excelled so much.
Because I think like for the previous film, the V shot was like because I haven't seen it since like that first time that I seen it. So I literally seen it one time. But V shot for that film, I feel like agreed upon that everyone liked was like that long take.
Yeah, 100%.
Going through, and then I think for this one, obviously it's only been out one day if you consider Thursday, so it's 2 days.
Yeah.
But we'll just say one day because of Friday, so like the first day, we'll just say that. But I think as of right now, well, like when people watched it, the last film, they're like, oh, that's the shot for the film. But I think like now, like for this one, there isn't a shot that's going to be the shot, because I think like there's so many good shots that everyone's gonna have their personal favorite. Yeah. Like how I mentioned the firefighter one.
Yeah. Like
that's my favorite scene for sure in the movie. Top 3 for me personally. Kevin's like, nah, it's probably like top 5 or whatever. But I think that's what kind of works with this film. It's like, it has its own. Everyone will have their own favorite parts to
Definitely. I think that works so well with this movie. I love this movie so much. I've only watched it just right now. I can't wait to watch it again. I think it is on it. They're streaming it on Peacock. For anyone who wants to watch it at home, you can use Peacock.
We probably could end this like right here soon, just because it's getting kind of late.
All right.
But for sure, this is like first impressions.
Yeah.
I guess this is gonna be the plug that Kevin was talking about earlier.
Okay.
We're gonna we're actually gonna be shooting this technically today for us later.
Yeah, a little later.
So,
today.
But it'll give us time to settle in.
Yeah.
Look it over. Not look it over because we can't go back to the theater or whatever. Yeah. But like let it sink in for sure.
Yeah. So
Kevin could do the segue, I guess, to that.
All right. So we're working on a podcast, and we're gonna be a bit more thorough, more in depth about it, and we're gonna do that later today. And we'll try to release it as soon as we can, and I'll make sure, if not to link it in this description, or probably just post like something about it, like we'll release it. Any last thoughts before we end it? I said this
plenty of times, not a horror fan, but even though you're not a horror fan, I think you horror's not your thing, whatever. I strongly urge you to watch this film for sure. Definitely. I don't know. 10 out of 10, like I said earlier. Yeah. It's there's a lot that I want to say, but it's just like those jittery vibes you get right now.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Like, I've been waiting for this movie forever.
Yeah, he has. Like it's been months, and he's like, oh, the first movie that I'm gonna go back to from COVID, ever since COVID started, and then that's it's already been like almost 2 years at this point.
I did feel surreal, and I legit almost teared up, like halfway. Not because I was like the movie. I was just like, I haven't felt this experience in a good while. It was so surreal. I felt disoriented. I felt dizzy. I was like, oh my god, I'm like here in this movie theater with a whole crowd, and it's so cool, and we're back here. A fantastic experience.
Also, our theater wasn't sold out. It was a good crowd, but the reason being is because like that theater had showings for Halloween every 15 minutes. So like literally as soon as our movie ended, and then like how I mentioned way earlier into this video, like I had a little injury from my leg. So I'm walking down the stairs, taking our time, and as soon as we exited, literally the theater right next to us is getting to like the end right at it. So we could have literally walked in, spoiled it for everyone if we wanted to, but obviously we're not gonna do that to them. But yeah, like, and then there was like half of the parking lot was still kind of full for that. For that segment.
Last thoughts. So many things to love about this movie. I suggest anyone to watch it. It is more gory. I think this is like, if there's a tier of horror movies, I don't think this is a beginner horror movie to start. Like, kids should not watch this movie. Like 5-year-olds should not watch this movie. I think you got to watch a couple horror movies to ease into this. I'll
just go into later.
What do you think is going to happen in the next movie?
The next movie?
The next one is meant to be the end of this trilogy before they continue whatever else is going to happen.
I think Michael's just going to be a good guy and everyone figures it out. I don't. Me personally, I don't know. Like, I'm not good with theories like that. But if I had a guess, I would say Laurie will probably get killed off just for the hell of it. Not the hell of it, but because like little rivalry kind of thing. Yeah. And then, but like that's not gonna be like the main killing. They'll probably be like towards the end. But the youngest one,
Allison.
Allison. Okay, I was gonna say Abigail, but Allison, I think she would probably not kill him, but at least like lead to his demise, whether he gets captured, or something. But she'll be the reason why. And then I would kind of hope, now that I'm remembering, said like they kind of foreshadow maybe potentially that she'll be a killer or something.
Maybe.
That hopefully, but we'll see.
We're thinking about how Michael transcends and how he's becoming something bigger, and I'm constantly thinking, what is this building up to? What is he going to be at the end? There was an article that said Jamie Lee Curtis believes once Halloween ends, which is the name of the next one, when that releases, a lot of people are going to be angry. And no one knows what that means, but it's going to be a controversial movie.
Well, I think that it's fair to say, regardless of whatever happens, it's going to be controversial because, it's kind of like Star Wars nowadays. Like, that's the more popular thing. Obviously, it's made for, like, a specific audience, like kids or whatever. But there's, like, older people who kind of grew up with it. And so, like, that ain't Star Wars. So I think that's going to be the same thing. Like, new fans are like, oh, yeah, whatever. And then, that ain't Halloween.
Yeah, that ain't. What is this, man? Back in my day. This might be an Alien 3 situation where both Laurie and Michael have to die together, and that's the only, like, they're connected forever. I wish Laurie had a happy ending. I hope she does. I'm still hoping, even if it's like 1% chance, I still hope she gets a happy ending. She's been suffering forever. There's a theory that Michael wins and the entire town just gets killed off. So he's just sitting down like, all right, good day's work. You know? And then you just see, it's just a compilation of dead bodies. Like, imagine.
That'll be cool. I was going to say something like that, but I was like, nah, because that's, realistically speaking, I don't think they'll go that route.
Yeah, I mean, probably not, but what a freaking crazy ending that would be. And especially coming from this ending, I actually wouldn't be surprised if they went that route.
Jason comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. And Jason's like, I'm here to form a team.
This will be like the universal, the dark horror thing.
The dark horror universal. Yeah.
This will be the first one now. This is where they're starting off instead of the Mummy.
I guess to end it off, this is the first time I've actually legit I felt spooked from a movie in a good while. Because, like you said, the lighting or the streets, the suburban neighborhood, it's very similar to where we are
right now. Yeah.
So I'm just looking around.
When I was saying that, like about like dark place like this with the lights, I was like, oh shit, it really is like like in our town right how it is right now. So it doesn't over exaggerate it with like complete darkness, like secluded. It kind of goes off to that feeling that it's literally
Yeah.
in your own town / city kind of thing.
And we just parked in front of a park.
No
which-
plan. I literally just drove like, oh, we could park right here. Like literally, that's how like random it is.
Yeah, and there was like maybe 1 or 2 people that passed by, and like that's Michael.
I'm not gonna lie. You could probably see this through the video, like me looking through the camera right there in the back, and I was just visualizing like him being there, like walking like that.
No, when we came inside the car, I legit like looked in the back like to make sure no one was in here.
I joked about it too.
Yeah, he joked about it, but I'm like, I'm serious. Like,
but when you'll probably see this when you're editing, that I'm looking at the camera like straight right here, and I'm just to see like no one's like, obviously we're gonna be right here, so it's like that. I'm like, dude, like I'm not spooked, but I now it kind of gives me the idea like it's possible, you know what I mean?
For sure, and that's the thing,
and especially because it's super late right now. The time's his perfect time,
and that's the thing, like. That's the thing that's scary, and I'm at 10%, so we gotta hurry. The thing about Mike, especially with the beginning, it's a real. It could happen in real life.
Yeah.
And
not the firefighters.
Someone could come right now. We get killed, and that's a real fear.
Yeah.
And I legit I'm looking around because the thing is, someone could dress up
with a mask,
with a Michael Myers mask. Or
it
like
is
any
October.
Mask. Yeah, and can go on a killing spree and that could legit be like a real life story. I hope that doesn't happen ever. Like obviously
we don't wish that upon anyone.
Yeah, like we enjoy these movies for the craft, the gore.
Also, because how you were saying the realistic whatever. There were scenes where I was watching this movie, like the light bulb scene that we mentioned with the 2 people just being there to be killed. I was like, damn, you can literally do that to anyone in real life.
You can.
So I kind of, as I was watching it with the movie, I was like, this movie could give literally, if you're crazy enough, you could literally get an idea of how to kill people based on this movie. Definitely. And I feel like that's how realistic. I guess that's like one of the things that I wanted to mention too. Like the killings, they're grounded, very grounded.
Yeah, they are.
Not over exaggerate. Maybe it'll be over exaggerated in the sense for like, like at the end, he's dead. And obviously, like with all those beatings, someone will probably die. But Michael coming back to life, that's not gonna happen in real life. But in terms of Michael killing people, it's like very grounded. It could happen.
Respect to all the practical effects artists who worked on this movie. It looks fantastic. I did not think any of it was cheesy. All the gore looked realistic, but it was fun. It was fun to watch. Like you said, like this could, like, if someone watches this, it can emulate it. And I don't think horror movies create crazy people. I think people who already have like something mentally, a struggle that's going on, they can just like find that and find it like inspiring.
Yeah, like if they really wanted to, they could find this day and age with the dark web and dark web. You don't need a movie doesn't motivate. It's not enough to motivate you nowadays.
Yeah.
If you really had the urge to kill someone, you could find that on the internet. If I had the urge to kill Kevin, I could do that right now.
And just to and that goes back to like Scream from the 90s, where like it was late 90. The first one came out in 96. And then with the next one in 97 and the third one like in 2000 maybe, 99, 2000, 2001. They had to do a lot of rewriting with the scripts because of the Columbine shootings.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are saying because it was so close together, it might have been some inspiration from those movies. And it was directly from those movies. Like Wes Craven and a lot of people who worked on the movies, they had to rewrite a lot of stuff because it revolved around like high schoolers, and the first 2 killers were high schoolers, and so
and then I guess like depending on who's watching this video, but like when we were in high school with the Dark Knight, remember the shooting, people were like, oh, it's because it's the Joker, kind of motivated, but I don't think so. It's just like
they already had that urge or drive. Yeah, it's sad to think about, but
okay, but we'll end it on a better note.
Let's end it on a happy note.
Yeah, unlike Michael. But must watch for sure.
Must watch.
You won't regret it. You won't. People will say like, maybe expensive, but like I feel like watching it at a theater for sure.
For sure. Yeah, I'd say so. Really great movie. It exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, mine's too by a long shot.
100%. I think casuals, film buffs, anyone is going to enjoy this movie. And then I'll probably I have not read a review or anything. I'm probably going to read them when I go home. But I think that's it. I think
yeah.
we made it. So thank you guys for everyone who stuck around.
Yeah.
And we'll bring you more stuff soon. We'll talk about it a bit more in the podcast.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it.
All right.
Anything?
Yeah. Not much. All right. See you guys.
Bye. Thank you guys.